Hi everyone, hope you are doing well. Excited to share Torah with you for Parshat Pinchas. We know that after Moshe Rabbeinu dies, Yehoshua takes over. And in the Parsha, Perek Chav Zayin, Moshe tells Hashem, listen, we need a new leader. I'm not going to be around forever. Somewhat comical, right? Vayidaber Moshe al Hashem, lemor yifkod Hashem elokei haruchos, v'chol basar ish al ha'edah, right? So Moshe is actually, to some degree, commanding Hashem something. And in the very next parak, just a few psukim later, Perek Chav Ches, the Torah starts, Vayidaber Hashem el Moshe lemor, Tzaves b'nei Yisrael v'martem lehem es kobani lachmi li'yishai reich michochi tishmru la'akriv li b'modo. This is known as the Korban Tamid. Every morning in the base of Mikdash, we would bring one lamb, and in the evening, really the afternoon, we would bring another one every single day, and that's actually a tremendous connection between the daily Shacharis prayer and the daily Mincha prayer. Shacharis connected the Korban Tamid in the morning, Mincha corresponding to the Korban Tamid in the afternoon. And the question begs itself, what in the world is the Korban Tamid doing here in Parshat Pinchas? If you look at Parshat Pinchas, okay, so granted it does speak about Korbanos, but not the Korban Tamid. It speaks about different Korbanos, namely the Musafin, and we read about dedications. But the Korban Tamid, you can argue, doesn't necessarily seem to fit exactly in with the parts of the Torah that are before it, namely Yehoshua being appointed as the new leader. And also the other Korbanos are much more dramatic, related to holidays, etc. But the Korban Tamid is the holiday, is the daily Korban, the daily offering. So many Mefarshim try to figure out why the Korban Tamid is specifically here. So approach number one classically is Rashi, where Moshe said, Hashem, listen, we need a new leader. And then Rashi quotes from the Midrash, where Hashem responds to Moshe, listen, Moshe, stop telling me what to do. Why don't you go tell the Jews what they should do, right? Ad sha'ata mitzaveni al banai. Oh, Moshe, you're telling me what to do with my children, appoint a new leader. Well, tzaves b'nai alai. Why don't you go tell them what to do for me, i.e., go command the Jewish people about the Korban Tamid. So again, a nice answer from Rashi that explains that since Moshe told Hashem, appoint them a new leader, so Hashem's response is, why don't you go tell them to bring the Korban Tamid? Okay, so the Ramban, explains a similar, another answer, that, now we know which Jewish people would be entering the land of Israel, and therefore it's time to discuss Korbanos, because they were not bringing Korbanos as normal in the Midbar. So says the Ramban, so if they were not going to bring the Korban Musaf on the holidays in the Midbar, so it's now time to discuss to the Jewish people, listen, when you go into Eretz Yisrael, you're going to need to bring a Korban Tamid, you're going to need to bring the Musafin. It's a beautiful idea from the Ramban as well, also very logical. I thought perhaps B'derech Drush we can argue as follows. How do we relate to the next generation? When we discuss a transition from one leader, Moshe Rabbeinu, to the next, when we discuss grandparents to the next generation, what is the key to success of passing on a legacy from the previous generation, from a Moshe Rabbeinu to Yehoshua? And I think perhaps the answer is the Korban Tamid. Namely, when you think about people who are no longer in this world, a grandparent, a parent, what do we remember most? Maybe there were those dramatic, chagim spent together, a recipe that was whipped out particularly for Pesach. And yes, there are things that stand out in particular. However, most often, it's the day in and day out routine that makes a lasting impression on a person. So perhaps the correspondence in the Torah, the juxtaposition between Yehoshua taking over for Moshe and the Korban Tamid is teaching us a valuable lesson. In order to properly pass on the Masorah to the next generation, you have to watch what you do every single day. Your Korban Tamid, so to speak, will set the stage for the next generation. Your children will pick up, of course, what you do on Pesach and Sukkot and the dramatic festivals, but they'll see what you do on a daily basis, and perhaps much more significant, what you do on a daily basis will pave the way for your next generation. And yes, this applies to both mitzvahs and to midos. We're all being a little bit challenged in COVID-19 with the midah of kas, as discussed last week. And how do we respond to challenges? And the midos that we express each day will be picked up by our children. We should all be zoche to do the mitzvos with the utmost stellar midos and pass those valuable lessons onto the next generation. Have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbos.